14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, it's severe weather season. We're going to have some tips on how you can prepare your family for emergencies. Also, a fire in Joplin sends a woman to the hospital.
And we've got storms this afternoon continuing into the overnight hours and all weekend long.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney. 7 o'clock on this fine Thursday morning. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, we're happy to have you. There's been some weather rolling through. I know that I experienced it on my way in. It was puddles and rain was pouring down, and or some of our producers and directors were watching me like run inside. So I'm glad that I'm all dried up now. It's been a while, but
I'm lucky I made it right before the storm came through, but I did stand out there and I was watching it. We did have some hail, fast winds as well. So main threat for that today, but nothing else too severe.
Well, and there is a chance for some parts of the 4 states to experience severe weather this weekend. KOAM's Amber Jenkins asked Newton County Emergency Management to share tips for families when severe weather hits.
Just about everyone in the 4 states has experience with a tornado or severe weather. If not, then you heard the stories.
Folks have heard stories about the Joplin tornado, so there is a lot of anxiety with those young children, and the more they can plan and the more they know what to expect, the easier it is for them.
During severe weather, parents are not only trying to keep kids safe, but also calm. One mom of 3 in Yosho says having a plan can smooth over nerves.
I think when they know there's a plan in place, if something does happen, I'm going to wake you up, we're going to put shoes on, we're going to go out to the shelter, and we'll be together, we'll be safe, we have a place to go. I think when kids know that you have a plan, they do better.
For the James family, their storm shelter is a big part of their severe weather plans.
The day we purchased our storm shelter and they brought it to us, we used it that afternoon. Like, they installed it and we were in it within an hour.
If folks can't afford a storm shelter, you know, if they don't have a basement, if they can't afford a storm shelter, then again, identify a place in their home that's safe for them and know what it's going to be and how they're going to be there.
Severe weather can bring uncertainties, but keeping a line of communication should be a top priority.
We've learned in many weather events that sometimes the phone lines go down. Those NOAA weather radios have crank radios that have actually flashlights, and NOAA and those radios within radio stations, so then you can hear what's going on.
After finding a storm shelter and establishing communication, it's best to wait out the storm and enjoy the impromptu family time.
We have the flashlights and we try to just tell stories, and we've sang songs because it does get to be a while and it gets kind of stuffy in there. And so we pass the time by just really, you get some more family time.
Reporting in Neosho, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Well, for more tips, you can go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. It's certainly an important reminder to always have a plan, especially like with this weekend with you know, severe weather rolling in our area. You want to make sure that you're staying safe and you have a plan in case it strikes your area.
And it's so unpredictable. You know, we try to do our best, but the weather is quite a phenomenon, which is why I got into it in the first place. Very fascinating stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we do have some storms going through today, and let's take a look outside and see what we can expect for the rest of your afternoon. Temperatures are starting to warm up slowly but surely. We're getting into the closer to the 60s, but as you can see, all these storm clouds behind me, there are going to be scattered thunderstorms across the region well into the morning hours. Now, when those stronger storms start to pass by, visibility diminishes. We do see some faster wind gusts up to about 40 miles per hour as well. Not to mention, some small hail is possible. But we don't have any warnings or watches in the entire area, which is a good thing, meaning that we don't have any severe threats, but we do see a few stronger storms. This is the Pittsburgh area. We saw a stronger storm come through here, and we did have a police officer alert that there was pea-sized hail. Now, scattered thunderstorms across the northern counties. We saw a few stronger cells as well, but nothing crazy going on outside right now, except for one storm. We do see a stronger one towards heading towards north of Pittsburgh, maybe south of Chanute. So we're going to keep an eye on that one as well. But like I said, main threats will be hail, cloud to ground lightning. So watch out for that if you're out and about, be careful about using an umbrella. And we also have some heavier rain as well. Now, we go through a bit of a lull, but we do have more storms ramping back up this evening, and I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly visits a new healthcare education center in Pittsburgh. Governor Kelly toured the John Perolo Education Center on the campus of the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas. Members of the health center's leadership team and board of directors joined the governor on the tour and for a discussion of the importance of the center's commitment to the area.
This place has been vital to Southeast Kansas for decades, and it will remain that way. And that's why I'm so pleased with everything that they're doing, because they recognize the great need that there is down here, and they're responding to it, and they're looking towards the future.
The governor also referenced the Medicaid expansion in Missouri and the success that state has had keeping hospitals and clinic running since then. Just after 5:15 yesterday evening, Joplin Fire Department responded to a structure fire on the 2800 block of North Brownell in North Royal Heights. Firefighters entered the residence despite smoke and flames, locating a female resident and rescuing her from the home. Deputy Chief Andy Nimmo tells us she was transported priority to an area hospital. There is no update on her condition. Joplin Fire was assisted by the Webb City Fire Department, and the Joplin Fire Marshal responded to the scene for investigation. You can watch out for updates on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Art Forms Gallery in Pittsburgh hosted a fused glass workshop yesterday for some 6th graders. Staff at the gallery treated the kids from College Heights Christian School in Joplin to a lesson in making glass art. The field trip was a chance to learn and have some fun.
Well, we were really excited to have a day of learning outside of the classroom, and they have the chance to work with fused glass to make several fused glass items. I just hope that they learned something new today and that we have a lot of fun.
The kids also got to take in some of the art in the Pittsburgh Library. Well, with Israel and Hamas wars escalating, tensions across the Middle East and the world, a senior Hamas official is laying out what he says it will take for the group to establish a ceasefire. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten reports.
What's happening on America's college campuses?
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu still says a ground invasion into the southern Gaza city of Rafah is critical to eliminating the remaining Hamas strongholds in the region. This, as a senior Hamas official speaking to the Associated Press in Turkey, reveals the terror group is ready to continue ceasefire negotiations.
If they can't finish Hamas off, what is the solution? The solution is to go to consensus. We have repeatedly offered the establishment of a fully sovereign Palestinian state.
Hamas says it is willing to agree to a 5-year or longer truce with Israel, adding it would lay down its weapons and transform into a political party, but that's if an independent Palestinian state is formed. This would include territory in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza. Israeli officials are not expected to entertain this idea, especially with more than 100 hostages still in Hamas captivity.
Until Hamas releases our hostages, the IDF will continue to pursue Hamas.
If we are not assured the war will end, why would I hand over the prisoners?
But anger over the lack of progress surrounding the hostages' release is boiling over. Police arresting protesters Wednesday night outside the home of Prime Minister Netanyahu in Jerusalem. Demonstrators lit fires in the street as hundreds demanded the government do more to secure the hostages' freedom. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
And those are our top news stories. Coming up this half hour, the Supreme Court could potentially be hearing arguments on abortion rights again. That story coming up in Health Watch.
Welcome to Miss Daisy's, where style meets custom. Miss Daisy's Home and Decor, and give your home the makeover it deserves.
In Health Watch this morning, do you ever feel that your workout goes by super slowly? Well, a study may prove just that. Researchers took 33 participants who worked out a moderate to high level and engaged them in a series of cycling trials. Their perception of time was measured throughout the test. Researchers found that regardless of it was near the start or end of the exercise, their sense of time moved slower while they were working out. The findings do not apply to working out in a competitive environment. The warped sense of time only happening when you exercise on your own. Arizona takes another step closer to repealing a near total ban on abortions yesterday. 3 Republicans in the state house joining all 29 Democrats in voting to repeal a 1864 law that only allows abortions in the case of saving someone's life. The law makes no exceptions for rape or incest. Republicans have used procedural votes several times to block earlier repeal efforts. The vote comes after weeks of pressure on the GOP in the battleground state during a presidential election year. U.S. Supreme Court justices are considering arguments heard yesterday about whether state abortion restrictions are invalidated by federal law. Fox News correspondent David Spunt has the details from outside the court.
Today's case originates in Idaho, but could have wide-ranging implications for states with strict abortion laws.
Abortion is murder!
At issue now, whether Idaho's near-total abortion ban is at odds with a federal law protecting patients in emergency situations, including pregnant women. The Biden administration sued Idaho, arguing abortions may need to be performed when the woman's life and health are at stake. The justices divided, with some questioning the federal government's power.
How can you impose restrictions on what Idaho can criminalize simply because hospitals in Idaho have chosen to participate in Medicare?
But the court's liberal justices question the state's authority.
It's not all the state's way. Within these rare cases, there's a significant number where the woman is, her life is not in peril, but she's going to lose her reproductive organs. She's going to lose the ability to have children in the future, unless an abortion takes place.
Idaho's law only provides an abortion exception to save a woman's life. The Justice Department argues a 1986 law ensures patients get appropriate stabilizing treatment in emergency situations, including abortions if necessary. Today's arguments highlight a divisive social issue playing out on the campaign trail. The justices held separate arguments last month over nationwide access to the abortion drug mifepristone. The justices will issue a decision in both cases by the end of June. At the Supreme Court, David Spunt, Fox News.
That's it for Health Watch. Let's check in with Lindsay for a look at the forecast.
We do have a few thunderstorms still passing through the area today. Now, we're going to continue to track these storms as well. As we get a little bit closer, we do have a bit of a break in the later afternoon hours. I'll have more details after the break, but coming up, a Utah freshman is leading the way to help save a piece of history.
Amp up your April at the Stables. Win your share.
So we've had a few thunderstorms passing through early this morning. Around 3 a.m. is when it started. Those continued on into the later morning hours. We've got a break right now out in Joplin, 7th and Range Line, but we do see more thunderstorm chances continue well into the early afternoon hours. Now, temperatures across the region starting to warm up into the upper 50s and 60s, but we're not getting much warmer than that today, with our high only being around the mid 60s today, just due to all the rain and the overcast that we're seeing. Temperatures aren't going to be able to warm up enough. Now, we also don't have any warnings or watches for the area, which is a good thing, meaning we don't have any severe threats today. We are seeing some smaller hail and lightning as the main threats for any of these storms that we see passing through. And these are the scattered storms right now. We've got a few strong ones. This is the northern counties. We don't see many strong storms, but north of Mound City, we got some lightning going on, and we also have a storm passing south of Nevada. Now we also have another stronger storm that's moving towards Parsons right now, that looks like it could drop some hail as well. Now, the main threat that we're seeing for hail is anywhere from pea-sized to penny-sized hail, a max of an inch. Now, it's going to continue on. Lightning also is a major threat for any of these storms. They'll continue on. Looks like it's going north of Parsons, or at least that hail core is. So may not see any hail in Parsons, but if you're north of it, you will. Now, these scattered thunderstorms will continue all morning long and into the early afternoon hours, but we're not seeing severe level today. We have a low risk for severe storms, especially in our Kansas and Oklahoma counties. But moving into tomorrow, we've got that elevated risk for storms. And then even on Saturday, we've got an enhanced risk. So for tomorrow and Saturday, that tornado risk will start to ramp up. But Saturday is when we're really expecting a few tornadoes to be passing through. And the Saturday timing is a little bit later in the evening and overnight hours. So major concern for that due to the dark skies that we won't be able to see any of the tornadoes coming. Let's take a closer look at the future track. So this is a little bit later in the morning, about 11:30 a.m. We still have those scattered thunderstorms across the entire region. We're not really seeing any breaks yet. We do see that start to pick up about 2 p.m. We'll have a break in those southern counties, Joplin and South, but those northern counties still getting hit with some heavier rain. And then even around 3:30 p.m., we've got a strong cell. Looks like it's going to be moving north of Nevada, but this system is pushing east. So we're only going to get some rain after that. This is 5 p.m. Still a lull in those southern counties, but clouds do start to move back in, and then the rain chances start to push down. And that's about 7 to 8 p.m. More rain happening in Joplin and the South counties. Then we'll see thunderstorms rotate back in, just a few in the overnight hours, but those will continue to ramp up as we get into the early morning hours on Friday. We see a line of thunderstorms start to form, stronger as they enter our region, and then by the time they hit Joplin, those are going to diminish, and we'll see just some stronger storms. Not as severe, but still heavier rain. Now, possible alert day still for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Main threat for the weekend could be seeing tornadoes as well as hail and heavy rain. That is the case for today, hail, heavy rain, and lightning as well. Now we'll be back with more news after the break.
Well, a teen in Utah is leading an effort to save a high school mural that dates to long before he was born.
Fox's Jenna Bree spoke with the teen to find out why.
I really don't care about the recognition, just more that gets done.
Logan Von Haney is leading an ambitious project of picking off hundreds of tiles that make up the mural outside the Spanish Fork High gym.
When I heard they're going to tear the school down, I asked the principal which senior projects would be coming with the school, which ones they'd move, and this wasn't one of them, so I volunteered to take it down.
Word of what Logan was doing spread quickly.
When I started out, it was just me. There's nobody else. And then when it hit Facebook, I had people in all the community asking if they could help.
Logan says his grandmother, who was on student council, rallied the class of 1976 around fundraising to pay for the mural.
This was my grandma's year. This was the year she graduated, and they sold candy bars just to pay for it.
The old Spanish Fork High is set to be torn down in June, giving Logan and his team of volunteers barely a month to get every tile off the wall.
We really don't have a ton of time to do it. We just have to get it done.
Friends and family members picked up grout scrapers, drum sanders, and hammers to help Logan out.
They graduated in 76, which was the spirit of 76, right? 200th year anniversary of our country, and so they just had a lot of excitement in this class, and that's why they brought a huge boulder down from the mountain and made it the Spirit Rock. It's out in front of the school, and then this was their ending project that they just really wanted to show the school that they had a lot of spirit and that they really had a lot of respect for our community.
Logan's Aunt Marilyn Clark says her sister would be proud to see Logan honoring her class's legacy.
We are really close. My sister passed away when Logan's mom was just 10. I think it's really cool that he loves somebody that he doesn't really know and wants to honor her.
The spirit of the class of 76 will live on piece by piece.
Well, certainly amazing, and it's great to see students take initiative to go in to save things that are so important to the community and the school as well.
It really is. That is awesome.
Well, coming up, a local artist and organization they're gearing up for Pittsburgh's Art Walk of 2024. KOAM's Fernanda Silva shares what the excitement is all about.
And we also have some more storms coming through today and for the rest of the weekend. We've got more details a little bit later on, and we'll be right back.
At 4 Eastern on Fox.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's just coming up on 7:30. I'm Elise Noe. We have a new information from a missing person story from earlier in the week. Carthage police are still asking for your help in locating Terry Mitzi. Mitzi is a white 50-year-old female. She is 5'1" and about 120 pounds with brown eyes and brown hair. Mitzi was last seen wearing a black dress, black coat, white long sleeve undershirt, and black and white shoes. Mitzi was driving a black and dark blue 93 Ford Ranger with the Missouri license plate 6CCL86. The vehicle was last seen driving south on Highway 65 at Bellefonte, Arkansas. If you have any information regarding Mitzi's whereabouts, please contact the Carthage Police Department. Pitt State's Axe Library held its spring book sale yesterday. Every year, the library collects a range of donated materials for sale. Everything from fiction to romance to history and more. Prices ranged from $1 to $2 per book. Proceeds help fund library programs. Crowder College will have 2 new programs beginning this fall. Engineering technology is intended to train students for careers as an engineering designer or drafter. The Geographic Information System is designed to develop skills for storing, analyzing, and visualizing geographic information such as maps, satellite images, and demographic data.
Or what do we see job opportunities, especially in our area, so that people don't have to relocate. So we'll look at those things first. And then, of course, we have to be physically responsible with what we're doing. So making sure that we already have the facilities basically to teach these classes and do. So we had drafting classrooms. We have the computer technology that we need to be able to offer that program.
The college says both programs have high demand in the job market and can be completed relatively quickly. NEO A&M College in Miami yesterday hosted an outreach event to let adults know it's not too late to get a degree. The Dogs and Degrees event gave people the chance to stop by, grab a hot dog, and learn about the Reach Higher program. That program is designed for working adults who want to finish an associate's degree.
You're a working person and you've got everything going and life's a challenge anyway. Any little obstacle can throw you off and keep you from coming back. And so it's our hope that we can help them get over those little obstacles and come back and get, look at like life ahead, especially if you got kids, like I can do it, you can do it. Be that example for their kids. And that's a big motivator for a lot of adult students.
The event also featured giveaways for kids and adults, as well as a drawing for prizes for those who apply to NEO.
So we've had a few thunderstorms already starting about 3 a.m. this morning. Those are going to continue well into the early afternoon hours. But right now in Joplin, mostly cloudy skies, but we do see a few breaks in the clouds as well. Temperatures nearly 60 degrees as well. We're not getting much warmer than that today, only getting up to about mid-60s. Now, we don't have any warnings or watches in the area, which is a good thing, meaning we don't have any severe threats for today, but we do see a few stronger storms pushing in. There's one that we see making it through towards Girard as well. Now, few scattered thunderstorms in the northern counties, but none strong storms. And then even again in the southern counties as well. They saw a stronger storm pass through early this morning around 4 to 5 a.m. But right now, just scattered thunderstorms. There is another strong one that we see. It's making its way north of Pittsburgh. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. But other than that, main threat for any of these storms are going to be small hail, heavy rain downpours in the midst of some of these storms, and even some faster wind gusts as well. We're not seeing any more severe threats with any of these storms all day today. We've got a very low risk for severe storms, but that changes tomorrow and Saturday. Those severe threats do ramp up. So we'll keep an eye on that and continue to update you, and I'll have more details in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, some local artists and organizations are ready for the Pittsburgh Art Walk. The event promotes a festival-like atmosphere with live music, art demonstrations, and community activities. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
As big fans of Joker and Harley Quinn, Ashlyn Denon and her husband decided to incorporate the characters into their wedding. 2 years later, they are taking the couple to Pittsburgh, this time in a different way.
We did the Harley Quinn diamonds on the side with the split dye because, you know, Harley comic book was black and red. And then we got Aston Martin in his purple pants, his Joker green top knot, and his smile.
Molly and Aston, now Harley and Joker, are some of the attractions at the Pittsburgh Art Walk.
And it brings art and our pets together for me. Two things I love the most, my animals and art.
Denon is joined by more than 100 other local artists and organizations at the event. Meg McCoy, for example, is getting ready to participate in the event for the third time.
There's really no way to access your community when you're creating artwork alone in your home. And the amount of people that Art Walk has connected me with, I went from, you know, just drawing in my room to making a career out of art.
For her, this is an opportunity to be a part of the city's cultural scene.
Basically, every artist in town shows up and shows out, shares their work. People who run Art Walk are really committed to making sure that Pittsburgh culture is appreciated and accessible, and I'm all about that.
In Pittsburgh, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Pittsburgh Art Walk starts at 5 p.m. on Friday. It's held on Broadway between 7th and 4th Streets. In case of severe weather, the event will be canceled and will not be rescheduled. Organizers ask the public to keep updated on the event's social media page. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Biden administration announces new guidelines to help protect consumers from airlines.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's spring semi-annual sale is going on. Shop now, spend less, and get more. Only at Ashley.
In Consumer Watch this morning, a federal agency is being sued for its recent ban on non-compete agreements. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which advocates for the business interest of millions of companies, has filed a suit against the Federal Trade Commission. The chamber wants to halt an FTC ban on non-compete agreements. The new rule is set to take effect in August on all new non-compete agreements. The chamber says enough legal framework already exists to determine whether a non-compete clause is fair or not. A bleak retirement outlook for some Americans. A new AARP survey finds about 1 in 4 Americans over the age of 50 say they never expect to retire, and about 70% say they are concerned about prices rising faster than their income. The research released Wednesday also shows about 1 in 4 have no retirement savings. Housing costs and daily expenses such as mortgage payments and rent are the biggest reasons why people say they are unable to save for retirement. The Biden administration is announcing new rules mandating automatic refunds for major flight disruptions. The Transportation Department estimates the changes could save consumers more than $500 million. Fox News correspondent Griff Jenkins has more.
After major disruptions to air travel in recent years, the Biden administration says it's following through with a promise to hold airlines accountable. New federal rules announced on Wednesday mandate automatic cash refunds for passengers whose flights have been canceled or significantly delayed.
We are also changing the refund to clarify that it must be by cash, it must be in cash by default, unless a passenger actively chooses another form of compensation.
Air carriers will also be required to clearly disclose junk fees and refund bag fees if luggage is not delivered within 12 hours of domestic flights. Before the rule, The Department of Transportation says passengers had to navigate airline websites and fill out extra paperwork to request a refund. The White House estimates the changes will save flyers around $500 million each year in excess airline fees.
Infrequent flyers are especially vulnerable, since they may not know that we are here for them and are often not told about their right to a refund.
The announcement comes at a turbulent time for the travel industry. On Wednesday, the Justice Department is meeting with families of people killed in 2 Boeing 737 MAX crashes as the government decides whether to pursue a criminal case. After the crashes, the company had reportedly agreed to strengthen its compliance program over 3 years. But just days before the agreement expired, a door plug flew off an Alaska Airlines plane. The DOJ is now investigating whether that incident violated the terms of its agreement with Boeing. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
That's it for Consumer Watch. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Pella, simply beautiful.
All right, so we've had a few storms already passing through the area. This started about 3 a.m. today. Now, nothing too severe, but we have seen a few stronger storms. One went through south of Pittsburgh and just north of Joplin, although Joplin got some rain. And the Joplin Police Department had noticed some pea-sized hail as well in that system. Now, temperatures starting to warm up slowly. We're not going to get too warm today, only getting up to the mid-60s just due to all of the rain showers and the overcast conditions that we have. We're not going to warm up too much. Now, we don't have any warnings or watches at all right now, which is a good thing, meaning we don't have any severe weather in the area. But we do have a few strong storms, and we've seen a few already. Those strong storms are producing small hail and some pretty serious downpours of rain as well. I know I was standing outside when Pittsburgh got that rainstorm, and a lot of rain and some small hail, as well as cloud to ground lightning. Those are going to be the main threats for any storms that we see today. But let's take a look. Those northern counties just getting some heavier rain showers. But as you can see, passing through Sheldon, looks like a stronger storm. We see some lightning strikes as well. But this is the strongest storm out there right now. It's passing through just north of Parsons, although Parsons may still getting some heavier rain and lightning as well. Looks like there's a hail core as well, so we may see some small hail passing north of Parsons as this system continues on. Now, other than that, a few more scattered storms are expected throughout the day, but nothing too severe. We've got a very low risk for storms in our Kansas and Oklahoma counties for today. Tomorrow, that goes to an elevated risk across all of our counties, and we do see those storms starting again early morning and continuing into the afternoon hours. Now, Saturday is going to be that enhanced risk, especially for the counties out in Kansas and Oklahoma as well. And Saturday, we are expecting a tornado or two, so we'll continue to update you on the systems coming through tomorrow and Saturday later on today. But let's take a future look at the track that we have for the storms today. This is about 11:30 a.m. No severe storms, but we do see still a few more thunderstorms continuing throughout the morning hours. This is about 2 p.m. So we get a break in those southern counties and Joplin and south, and even a break in the clouds as well in the early afternoon hours. But northern counties getting that rain, and then we even see a stronger thunderstorm passing, and it looks like it's going to be going north of Nevada. Now, these stronger storms start to shift off and they're going to be hitting Springfield, but we don't see any more in our area until later on this evening. So this is about 5:30, still a break in the rain in the southern counties, but that does change. We have some rain showers pushing through about 7 to 8 p.m. Then as we continue on, southern counties then getting the rain, northern counties getting the break, and then we'll have those thunderstorms rotate back in overnight. And as we move into early morning hours, about 4 to 5 a.m., maybe a little bit earlier, we'll see that line of thunderstorms starting to push in. Starts stronger as it enters our area, but by the time it hits Joplin, as of right now, it's looking like it's going to start to weaken before it leaves our area. So we do have a possible alert day for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with those severe threats being hail, possible tornadoes, and heavy rains as well. Now, threats for today just going to be hail and fast winds and heavy rain as well. So, but at least we'll be back with more news after this.
48 hours today at 9, right here on Fox 14.
We rely on Mother Earth a lot, with many of the world's plants offering up materials used in common and important medications. But scientists at England's Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, say there's tons of plants that could be holding clues to how we can develop new medications in the future.
And to see how we could unlock their potential secrets, researchers are using artificial intelligence softwares. Fox News' Sean Langiel has a closer look.
From cough drops to aspirin and beyond, many of the medical remedies we seek when we're sick have ingredients that come from nature. According to the Department of Agriculture, about 40% of drugs behind pharmacy counters in Western countries are derived from plants. But now scientists are trying to discover medicines of the future, combining the natural and digital worlds with help from artificial intelligence.
It's a huge study.
Researchers are using AI to analyze the properties of hundreds of species of plants in an effort to see how they could be related. AI will then cross-reference that genetic data with the properties of known medicines we use today.
So the project I'm leading at Kew aims to address this challenge by developing an artificial intelligence approach to predict which plant species would be more likely to contain lead compounds for drug discovery.
The team says finding other plants who can make new and existing medicines from is critical, citing how extracting materials from the same types of plants over time could cause dramatic declines in those species.
The anti-cancer drug paclitaxel was first isolated from the Pacific yew, which resulted in killing many trees because it was sourced from the bark. And so scientists turned to a related species in the same genus and extracted similar chemicals from the leaves.
Sean Langiel, Fox News.
Well, certainly impressive. Indeed, it's amazing what AI and all this artificial intelligence can do nowadays. I'm just super impressed by it.
It is pretty awesome. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, last little check at the weather. We have some storms coming through today. Those started early this morning. They're going to continue till early afternoon. We'll get another round of showers this evening around 8 to 9 p.m. After that, a little bit of a break before storms kick back up after midnight and into early Friday morning. So we've got a lot of storm chances again tomorrow, a possible alert day and an enhanced risk for storms as well. Those start pretty early again, 3 to 4 in the morning. They're going to continue on until early afternoon as well. Then we'll have another break. So we could experience some more severe threats tomorrow. And then Saturday, we are expecting a tornado or two. Those storms are coming in later in the evening and the overnight hours. So it could cause some major concerns for that. Now we'll have more after the break.
Salute Rome Stevens Jr., a four-state hero.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly visited the John Parolo Education Center at the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas in Pittsburgh yesterday. Members of the health center's leadership team and board of directors joined the governor to discuss the importance of the center's commitment to the area. The governor also referenced the Medicaid expansion in Missouri and the success that the state has had keeping hospitals and clinic running since then. The Joplin Fire Department rescued a woman from a structure fire yesterday evening in North Royal Heights. Firefighters entered the residence despite smoke and flames, locating a female resident and rescuing her from the home. Deputy Chief Andy Animo tells us she was transported priority to an area hospital. There is no update on her condition.
And we've got some storms continuing into the area. They started about 3 in the morning this morning. They'll continue to push through until early this afternoon. Then we'll have another round of showers about 7 to 8 p.m. today. And then more thunderstorm chances start to ramp back up after midnight, and about 3 to 4 a.m. again tomorrow is when those thunderstorm chances start to move back into our area until again early afternoon.
Yes, be sure to stay with us during this severe weather season, especially during this weekend. And be sure to download the KOAM News app for the latest information, as well as the Facebook pages as well, of course. Well, skies over southern Greece turned an orange hue on Tuesday as dust clouds blown across the Mediterranean Sea from North Africa engulfed Athens. Strong southerly winds carried the dust from the Sahara Desert, giving the atmosphere of the Greek capital a Martian-like filter in the last hours of daylight. Wow, look at that.
The strong southerly winds also fanned unseasonal early wildfires in the country's south. The fire service said Tuesday evening that a total of 25 wildfires broke out in the past 24 hours.
Wow, that looks like something out of a movie.
It does. That's really
like Prince of Egypt or something.
Eerie.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We've got more storms coming through tonight and tomorrow, so join us back for more news and weather at noon for more updates.
Absolutely. Be sure to do so and have a great rest of your morning.